So let's learn together from our student book. I believe you all have your student books with you already, so let's open it up. Now look at this rectangle that Samir drew. He drew the rectangle and he now divided the rectangle into smaller squares. He measured the smaller squares and he found out that each square measures 1 centimeter for the width and 1 centimeter for the length. Remember, in perimeter, if it was perimeter, what would be our perimeter? If we were talking about perimeter, what would the perimeter be for this small square? What would it be? Great job. It will be 4 centimeter because you're adding all of the sides together, and because it's a square, it has all the same sides. What about the rectangle at the top, the one Samir actually drew, 8 centimeter and 2 centimeter? What would be the perimeter? Great job, 20 centimeter, because you add 8 plus 8 for a rectangle. Remember, the two sides are the same. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Then the side 2 and the opposite side will also be 2 because it's always the same. They measure the same length. So 2 plus 2 will also be 4. So if you add 16 with 4, you have 20. Good. But this is not perimeter, it is area. Now, he divided that rectangle into little squares, and each square is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Now, let's count how many squares we have inside the rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squares inside the rectangle. Do you know what this means? If we're going to write, remember the area is measuring the length inside. Okay, so if we're going to write the answer for this now, it is going to be 16 square centimeter, because how many squares are inside the rectangle? 16. So the answer is going to be written as 16 square centimeters. That's 1/6, then centimeter and square. Okay, now let's see some others. All right, now look at the shapes. There's a rectangle in shape 1, okay, and that rectangle has how many squares? 4 squares. In shape 1, the rectangle has got 4 squares. So the length of that rectangle will regard the length is how long it is. Okay, the length of the rectangle measures 4 squares. Is that correct? If you look at the length, the total length of the rectangle, there are 4 squares in it, right? Now let's look at the width. How many squares are in the width? Only 1. Do you understand? It has only 1 for the width. So how do we now get the area? We multiply it's a rectangle, so we multiply the length and the width. So if we have 4 squares and each square is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, the width definitely must be 1 centimeter and the length will be 1 centimeter in 4 places. That means the length is 4 centimeter and the width is 1 centimeter. So what is our area? 4 multiplied by 1, 4 square centimeter, pardon me. Let's look at shape 2. Shape 2 has 6 squares in it. Let's look at the length. The length has 3 squares, and those 3 squares, each of them is 1 centimeter each. So if we put what's the total of the length? Since each of the square is 1 centimeter, what's the total of the length? We have 3 squares. It means we have 3 centimeters for the length. What about the width? Look at the other side of it, the width. Now the width has 2 squares, and the 2 squares, each of them has 1 centimeter each. So for 2 squares, we add 1 plus 1 and we have what? 2 centimeters. So the width is 2 centimeters. The length is 3 centimeters. How do we find the area? 3 times 2, and our answer is what? 6 square centimeters. Let's look at shape 5. That one has more squares. The length, let's look at the length. The length is the one at the top from the left to the right. That's the length. So let's count how many squares we have in the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 squares. Each square is 1 centimeter. So what is the width, the length? Great job, 5 centimeter. Okay, let's look at the length. The length, how many squares do we have in the length? We count from up to down, from the side, from the left side. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 squares. Each square is 1 centimeter. So 4 squares will be how many centimeters? 4 centimeters. Great. So how do we find the area of this one? We multiply the length and the width. And we now know that our length is 4 centimeters. Our length is 5 centimeters. And our width is what? 4 centimeters. Right? So what do? We multiply 5 by 4. And we have 20 square centimeter. All right. Now I know you know how to measure the area of a rectangle and a square now. So let's go ahead. Okay, now look at this on the next page. It says the school lawn. Now, what shape is the school lawn? First of all, the school lawn is the one you can see in the green color. What shape is it? Great job. It's a rectangle. All right. Now, the rectangle it represents the school lawn. That's where you play your football during the break. You remember that? Okay, let's just have that at the back of your mind. Let's assume that this is where you play your football during the break. So the school lawn, the length is 9 centimeters and the width is 3 centimeters. Now the question is, what is the area of the lawn? Is that not very easy? What did we say? How did we say we measure the area of a rectangle? Length times width. So what is our length? 9 centimeter. What is our width? 3 centimeter. Now let's multiply 9 by 3. What's our answer? Good. 27 square meters. Remember, we've been talking about centimeters, but this one is in meters now. So this is 27 square meters. Okay? All right. The second one is also talking about a rectangle. Okay, let's look at the rectangle. What's the width of the rectangle? The width of the rectangle is 7 meters. Now, this time around, we're given the width. We are not given the length. No. We're given the length. We're not given the width. You know, in perimeters yesterday, we found the missing sides. Now in area, we're also looking for the missing side. We're given the perimeter as 28 square meter, but we were only given the length. We were not given the width. Now, what do you think we would do? I know that the length multiplied by the width is 28 meter square, right? Now, what is the length? The length is 7 meter. What is the width? We don't know. So we put a box there or a dash. Then we write equal 28 meter square. Now, how do we find the answer? Remember just your simple arithmetic? Divide 28 by 7. And 28 divided by 7 is what? 28 divided by 7 is? Great, it's 4. All right, I hope you're not forgetting your timetable or your multiplication table because you're at home. Make sure you keep studying. So 28 divided by 7 is 4. That means the width must be 4 meters. 7 meters multiplied by 4 meters is 28 meters square. So it's easy to also find the missing side, right? Okay, great job. Let's see the next one. Well,